Oh shit!
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. That is not gonna stick. Okay, so today I'm gonna tell a little story of something kind of crazy that happened lately. I figured I would document it on YouTube so other people can see. Millions of people can see. No, I'm just kidding. All of 16 people will be able to see it. Something kind of crazy that happened recently. It involved a friend of mine that I actually ended up having to take to the hospital at like 12 in the morning. From the clip you saw in the beginning of the video, you can kind of tell what happened. He landed straight on his head. So yes, he fell pretty hard. And if you could see, his arm was bent. I had posted on my Snapchat story, so everybody thought he broke his arm. So yeah, he landed on his ear and immediately played it off as if nothing happened and that he didn't get hurt or anything, you know, trying to act all tough, of course. But I knew something was up, you know, that was a hard hit. He landed flat on his head. First thing I thought was a concussion, just because that seemed like that was the most possible thing, most likely thing that could have happened. I would show the picture, but it is a little gruesome, and I'm pretty sure I'd get in trouble for it. But we ended up going back to my dorm, and we were hanging out in there for a little bit until he called me over and he said, "Hey RJ, come look at my ear." So I went over and I looked at his ear, and he had a slice on the back of his ear that you could see deep tissue in his ear, and it was oozing blood. So the first thing I told him is, dude, we gotta go to the hospital. The next thing that happened was it kind of triggered like a anxiety attack for him. You know, he thought he was okay, but then I showed him a picture of what it was, and him seeing that picture made him feel like really ill. Immediately I could tell his face was like flushed. He was like completely white. He looked like he was about to pass out. So as we're walking down the hall of my dorm, he's like, okay, I need to stop. He's like, I'm getting really dizzy. So we sat him down and he looked like he was about to drop. Like he was completely flushed. He said he was gonna get sick. So yeah, his idea of how to cure that was to put on some music. He said, we just need good vibes right now. Thankfully nothing happened, you know, he was okay. We made it to the car. And by the time we got to the car, he was already vibing out. You know, he's acting like nothing happened, even though we're going to the hospital at 1 in the morning. But the worst part of this whole situation was his mom had no idea that, for one, I brought him to my university. He attends a different university, but two, she had no idea that this incident was happening. So when we eventually made it to the hospital, of course he doesn't have his insurance because he was just staying one night with me at my university, Texas State University. Shout out Texas State. But yeah, so while we're at the hospital, of course the check-in lady, she's asking for all his information and his insurance card, and he didn't have it with him. So without the insurance, that means no one's gonna be able to cover it. His medical expenses are gonna be strictly towards him. And she told us the estimate because he was worried about the price. She told us it was going to be anywhere from $350 to $2,000. And I think that kind of scared us off right away. I mean, that's a large sum of money for a stupid mistake. So, you know, we kind of thought back and forth and decided that he's going to end up having to call his mom. So he called her. It was really late at night. You know, of course, I'm sure she was startled when he called. And I heard her lighting his ass up on the phone. Definitely didn't go well for him. He's going to claim that, of course, it did. Okay, I'm gonna give that guy Luca, the one who landed on his head, I'm gonna give him a call so he can give a little input on what exactly happened to him. Yo.
What's up?
Okay, so I'm making the video right now. I figured I'd call to get your take on what happened. Basically just informed him on everything that happened, but I just got to the part where we're at the hospital and you called your mom. I told him they didn't go too well, but I said, of course you're going to say it did and that she's not mad, even though we all know she was mad at you.
She was not mad.
What did she say to you on the phone?
She just said, why are you calling me at this time of night? And then I told her, and she was not upset, I swear.
Yeah, okay. How's your ear? Is it any better?
It's fine, it doesn't hurt still.
What is in your hair?
Scrunchy.
Why do you have a scrunchie in your hair?
Because the accident went crazy.
I can't hear you.
Because the accident has changed me.
The accident has changed you. So now that we settled the whole health insurance part and actually getting a hold of his mother, we got in. We did get an appointment. We got him in to get checked. My initial worry was that he was going to need stitches, and it's in a really strange spot. It's the part where your ear connects to your skull. So getting stitches back there is not an easy task. So I thought it was just better to be safe than sorry and get the stitches, or at least get it checked out to see if he needs them. And so that's why we had like a little consult with the doctor, which happened to be at an ER. And they told us it was okay. They told us they just needed to put gauze in there. They gave him the ridiculous, I'll have to put a video of it. They put this huge bandage around his head and they made it orange because he's got very orange hair, or at least that's why I think they did it. But yeah, he was definitely excited to be there. For some reason, this was all fun and games to him, and I was the one kind of freaking out. You know, I had to drive him there, and I thought he was gonna pass out and all this stuff, but he sure had a good time with it. So I guess if there's a lesson learned from the story, it's that if you think you can do a backflip, don't test it, especially on concrete on top of a parking garage. Luca, yeah, it's not worth it. You know, I knew he couldn't do it. He claims he can, and he'll always say he can, but we all know he can't. It's just not worth it at the end. You got to be careful, because you're gonna split your ear open like that. I'll try to throw up a picture. Maybe I'll blur it out for you guys so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Because it was gruesome. I mean, it was probably a few centimeters deep into his ear. You could see the raw skin underneath, and it was pretty nasty. So this wasn't gonna be a super long video. I just wanted to kind of document what happened, so I could look back on the future, show with you guys what exactly happened, because it was funny. At the end of the day, it was funny. We laugh about it. It was never too much of a worry. I knew he wasn't gonna die, of course. I wasn't panicking, but I was a little worried that I had to take him to the ER. It was the first time I've had to take someone to the ER myself. He didn't have any of his medical stuff with him, none of his insurance. So it was kind of like a scene out of The Hangover. Just everything was going wrong. So I just wanted to document that. I thought it was funny. But yeah, so I'll catch you guys in the next vid.